And you said, I'm gonna make you a star, kid. I'm gonna make you a star. So it means the world. And when you talk about dreams and the impact of a life, like, think about, and I would just say this as we sign off today in just a bit, there'll be a whole new crew coming in, starting a whole new station with their own dreams. And I wouldn't deny anybody the chance to pursue the dreams, because we have lived some pretty awesome times these last 8 years, you know?
Yes.
And so, like, they get to start their whole new dream. They won't live it as great as we did. Let's just be real.
I want to say real quick, and I know we got someone else on hold on the hotline right now, but speaking of dreams, just a huge thanks to you to everyone. And if you don't recognize my voice, hey, I'm Jonah, the new guy. I'm just so new to the station only a few months ago, but Kelly and John and Katie, everyone here, I mean, I grew up in New York too. I grew up upstate New York, here in New York City radio. Through the static, I would put tinfoil on top of my antenna in my room just so I can know what it sounded like in New York City. And to be in this room and to be on this microphone right now and not to be escorted out of the building and be asked to be in this room with the talent and the caliber of person, talent and just character-wise, is one of the biggest honors of my life. And to just be here and listen to the history of this station has just been so beautiful. And just thank you guys. And this is, I mean, the phones have not stopped ringing the whole time. So this is just a testament to everyone like me and growing up wanting a station that speaks to them. It's just great.
But do grab some pens on your way out.
I have a whole thing of Sharpies in my bag right now. Are you kidding me?
We do have someone else on the line, and I think you'll be excited.
Yeah, whiskey and rain coming down, splash of bourbon in the glass.
This is one of our guys, Michael Ray. We love you for calling in. Thank you so much for taking the time to call.
I woke up and was talking to Buffy, my manager, and heard the news, and I just wanted to call in and just say what y'all have done in a city that was made for people to have big dreams in is incredible. And when things come to an end, like John Fox just said, you know, with the accomplishment is to be able to look back and not regret a thing. And y'all blazed past. I mean, some of my favorite memories are with you, Kelly, and in New York, it was and Jesse, Addie, and Jonah. It's good to hear your voice, man. And just so many, Katie, just so many great memories in that building. And I just wanted to call you guys and just say thank you for what y'all done for country music. Thank you, Kelly, for what you've done in women in country music. And, you know, these moments of uncertainty whenever something like this just gets dropped on you, especially when you're passionate about what you do, can be scary. But I think as we've all learned in the last 15 months, when a door closes, that just means God's got something coming, you know. And I hope that y'all feel that love and the pride of not only the city but the country music community and what y'all done. And I love you guys and just thank y'all for playing my music and giving my chance of 3 minutes on those frequencies in New York City.
I've sent him a picture the other day when you were just a baby. Barclays Center, right? They're like, was that your first gig? And we did our very first. What was that, Jesse? Our first.
It was like Nash Bash or
the
something.
first Nash Bash.
And I'm less intimidated talking to you now because I don't have to stare at your beautiful face, Michael. You know, because he's like in HD and he's just so gorgeous.
He's
you
so
know?
beautiful. You want to kiss him?
It's like I do.
It's okay.
Like, all right, I actually feel really comfortable talking to Michael Ray right now. This is good. It was like standing next to Chuck Wicks in photos. I'm like, I don't want to stand next to him. Like, I gotta go over here.
Chuck's got that smooth, man. He's got that smooth, that look.
Well, yeah, I just
remember. I remember Michael stepped up, was one of the first artists in the pandemic to jump on and do an Instagram Live, and I think we were both in our underwear talking to each other. And
I didn't wear pants for 15 months.
Yeah, so I just remember, you know, that moment, because that just seeing somebody like Michael Ray on our social media was so comforting when New York got hit like no other in the pandemic. So just thanks for being us in that moment, man.
Man, anytime. I just wanted to give you guys a call and tell y'all guys thank you for what y'all done and I hate this. I'm like some of my favorite memories with you guys and in New York City, and you know where I'm from, it's a whole different atmosphere than New York City. You know, so a guy like me and these people like y'all to show them the ropes and y'all always have and always just made me feel like family and and I know that there's a lot of fans that are going to miss 94.7. They're going to miss you guys, and I'm going to miss you guys. But I just wanted to call and say thank y'all for everything y'all have done, and the next journey is going to be even bigger, if you can even imagine that.
We can. We're ready.
Come on.
Come on now. Hashtag LFG.
That's as close to the F word as we're allowed, by the way.
I was about to say, are y'all allowed to talk stuff now, or what do we got?
No. I made a promise. And you know my mouth, Michael Ray.
But you can,
Jonah,
Michael.
I need some black Sharpies, so if you're going to be stealing pictures, man, I need some black Sharpies for the bus.
Yeah, grab some Sharpies. That's my favorite. I love black Sharpies.
Oh, I got you.
Double them coffee cups.
All right.
Michael Ray, you're the best. Thanks for taking the time to call, saying goodbye not just to us, but the people who created this today on the last day of New York's country. 94.7 means so much. We do want to get to some calls, play a little more of our stories. We have stories to tell. We haven't even really gotten to everyone. We'll take just a minute to take a break. 844-947-0947. That's the number. You can also comment on our socials. We just love you. Thanks for sharing this day with us.
New York's Country 94.7 proudly presents First Responder Friday, showing our appreciation for the brave women and men of our fire departments, EMS, and police.
Today we get to say thank you to Nurse Maureen DeNoia from St. John's, Riverside in Yonkers. You were nominated by your cousin, John Leese, who just talked about what a hero you were during COVID, after COVID.
If I can do anything to help a person get through their hard times or their illness, or do anything for them to make them just a little bit better, it brings me so much joy.
Well, now I'm going to get emotional, Maureen.
Nominate a local hero to be featured on our next First Responder Friday at NewYorksCountry947.com. Presented by Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
This is New York's Country 94.7. I am Kelly Ford. I've got the whole crew here. It is our last day together. Every time I say it, it just seems surreal. Yesterday went in slow motion as they let us all know. I'm Kelly, Jonah the new guy from the morning show, Sabrina from Queens is here, Katie Neal from Middays, Jesse Addy is here, John Fox, who is his next job is to be a preacher, a televangelist, and Patty Steele from CBS still hanging out, Dan Mulqueen, who produces Katie's show and has been with the station for a long time. Jason Aldean. Oh man, he is here. No, that's Jason Goldstein, who has helped the station for many years on and off the air. Mike Allen has been from the beginning as well. So everyone is here. I did, since we just played Wagon Wheel, Darius Rucker, and we mentioned first responders earlier. Katie Neal started something right before I joined the station called First Responder Friday, and I definitely want to give you credit for that idea. It was such a huge. We know, especially during the pandemic, that and I said this at Stars and Strings, our big show. If we learned one thing, it was that for people who said that country music is not the soundtrack of New York City, they don't know New York City like we know New York City, because we know. I know for sure, doing mornings, getting up every day, coming into this studio for over a year while this city was in lockdown, that we are the soundtrack of the people who kept this city going. The first responders, the police officers, the firefighters, the EMTs, the nurses, the doctors, everyone who was going to work while we all stayed home. Those people, they were the ones listening. So we know we are the first responder station. We know that. And you having this idea was so on point, such a way to connect with our people.
It just felt like something that we needed to do, because I can't tell you how many times I've sat here in this chair at this microphone and someone has called and they're like, we're in our squad car, we're listening in the Bronx right now, or in Staten Island, or blah, and I know how many police officers and how many firehouses listen to this station all day long, and EMTs, and so it just seemed like the most natural thing for us to do is to salute the everyday heroes who listen to this radio station, and the stories that we have heard over the last year and a half, 2 years that we've done this, like, just are absolutely unbelievable. Like, names that come to mind are Joe LaPointe in Staten Island, who's head of the FDNY ceremonial unit, and Captain Klocko in Jersey City, and
he just texted me,
Liam, and all of the, like, the amazing people that listen to this radio station. I feel like I want to shout out, like, all of our guys at PAPD, Sergeant Vitale and Chris, and of course all of DCPI at NYPD, Glick and Byrne. All of you guys have
Marrera and Central Park, of course. Nooch, Andy Nuccio. We love Nooch.
We should shout our very own Kevin Rodrigo, part of Hohoka SPD now.
Of course. And hearing your stories, the rope, I mean, there's so many. The rope ladder rescue from last year, that story. The Darius Rucker song does bring up one of the most poignant stories of the year for me. We lost a hero in March, a hero that ran, the story of they're running into burning buildings while everyone else is running out. Jared Lloyd was up in Rockland County, and a lot of people remember the story. It was a assisted living home fire, and he saved countless lives, and he died. And his friends, who now are my friends, in fact, Eric just texted me yesterday before I got news of this, and they reached out. I didn't know them before this, and they said, look, we lost our buddy, and he loved Darius Rucker. Loved your station, loved the song Wagon Wheel, was such a happy guy, just always smiling, always said the right thing. It would mean a lot to us if you could, like, dedicate the song Wagon Wheel to him. And Jonah was part of this story too, and I said, gosh, let's get these guys on and see what we can do for them.
And this was all from what we were talking about earlier, what John Fox was talking about earlier, of wanting to do right by people, wanting to do the right thing, and having great intentions. And your intention was not just to dedicate a song for Jared in Jared's memory, but to actually be able to connect Darius with the firehouse, with his brothers and sisters and his kids, to really kind of connect and have a moment of healing and remembrance of someone who literally was a hero.
Jared loved Darius Rucker so much, one of his children is named Darius. So anyway, I was talking to the guys. I'm like, well, I can't promise anything, but maybe I could make a few calls, and maybe we could get Darius on a Zoom. And then I'm like, all right, well, now I got to make this. I definitely got to make this happen. So really, truly, there are a few.
You're okay.
Yep.
Take your time.
Few moments.
You've been amazing today, Kelly. You've been amazing.
You're crushing
by the way,
it
today. This is...
You're killing me. You really are.
Thank you, Kelly.
A few moments in my life as a broadcaster that I go, this is why I do this. And going up to Rockland County that night to host the Zoom call with Darius was one of them, because I walked into the firehouse. These are all just great guys. They're all volunteers. Jared was a volunteer. They do this for the community. They do this because they have a brotherhood and a camaraderie, and they really love each other. And I walked in, and in their communal area, in their bar area, they have a stool with all of Jared's, his stuff, and there's a candle lit, and his boots are there, and his jacket's there, and then Darius calls, and it was really, I don't know, it felt like that moment when, well, here's kind of how we talked about it on the air, and I'd love to share it with you. It's as close to being there as I can get you. I personally feel like God, the universe, puts people in our path for a reason. Last night is a great example of that. Honestly, to be part, even this teeny part of honoring and remembering a fallen hero, a fallen firefighter, Jared Lloyd from Columbian Fire Company No. 1.
Jared was like the guy with a constant smile on his face. He always had a smile on his face.
And he loved country music. His youngest son is Darius.
They mentioned how cool it would be to be able to connect with Darius Rucker. And you were up there last night to help make sure that happened. And I can only imagine what it was like to be in that room when Darius Rucker popped up on that Zoom and was able to connect.
There's sadness and tears, but there was some joy last night with the sing-along.
So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock
just all sang, and it was pretty amazing. And then I just out of no, Jonah knows this is the weirdest thing. I didn't even talk about this on the air, but I went to the funeral. I just, as a fly on the wall, went up and went to the funeral.
Well, I think that speaks to, I mean, your heart, Kelly, and really that how genuine you are, because when you say something, you mean it. And when you want to support somebody, you do. And I think there are a lot of instances of people in the spotlight doing things for an image or doing things because they think they should. But you did it because your heart called you to. And again, you said we didn't even talk about that on the radio because it was something that you felt needed to be done, and it was because you had this bond with these people and you weren't just going to check something off a box and say, yeah, we're a first responder station, so we're going to do this thing. It's in your heart, it's in your soul, and that it's seen by everybody. But to also be able to work with you these last few months and see that and learn from that has been really inspirational. And I know that you've made these lifelong bond with these guys now because of this.
Well, it feels cool that Eric and Timothy and all those guys trusted me to share Jared's story. And for a minute, also they said we were like, well, we don't want to exploit it, and then they're like, no, we want the story told. We want his legacy to live on, and that's kind of what we're doing today here. And speaking of first responders, I want to bring up Todd Van Duren of Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. And yes, that sounded like a plug because it kind of is. Because Todd has really sponsored so many things and been so supportive of first responders and First Responder Friday, and that takes money. And you supporting Kelly Ford in the Morning, First Responder Friday, and so many of the things that we've done here at New York's Country 94.7. Todd, thank you. It means more than you could possibly know.
Hello?
Hello, Todd. You're on. How are you?
How are you guys?
Good.
Hi. Well, listen, it's been just such a pleasure to work with all you guys, know all you guys. And, a few minutes ago, somebody called me and talked to me about First Responder, and they said, well, we can maybe. I said, no. First Responder is the people at 94.7. Okay, that's what made it. That's what made it special. You guys just, it was so awesome. And I have a lot of, my wife is a nurse, and what she went through during the pandemic and all that kind of stuff, and the way you guys supported this whole thing and all that you did was just so awesome. And it's just been, I go back so far with you guys, and Jesse and I go back, I think, from the beginning, and John and Kelly, and it's just Katie was, I got with Katie a little later on in my stint with you guys, but you guys just have just been so awesome and so much fun to work with, and I was thinking about it before. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but we were in doing one of my commercials and producing, and we were having a little bit too much fun, and they overheard us doing the traffic on one of the radio stations, and we all got taken to the principal's office and spoken to, and that was we just had so much fun doing that. And I hope you guys remember that. That was just,
Actually, I got to tell you, Todd, Dave Plotkin is in the room, believe it or not. So you have to. I just had to put headphones on.
I need to give me a little more energy on that.
Dave Plotkin, for everybody listening, is a producer at 1010 Wins, and he does the commercials with Jesse, Katie, and me and Todd. So retell that story to him. He didn't hear it.
Well, Dave, I don't know if you remember right before the pandemic, when I would come in and do a lot of stuff live with you guys, when we were just having a little bit too much fun in your office, and they were doing the traffic, and we all got spoken to. We all got taken to the principal's office because we were being a little too loud, and they overheard our joy on the traffic report on 1010.
That's true.
It was so much fun. And Dave, a couple of weeks ago, this is Dave. Okay, I was doing my commercial remotely, and I was actually out of town, and I was sitting at a desk. He's like, "Is there a bed in the room?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Go lay on the bed and put your face by the bed on the microphone. It'll sound better."
We stop at no expense to make it sound good. I will tell everybody this. The beauty of radio is really that creativity. And as a creative director, my favorite thing is to play off with the true professionals like Katie, Jesse, Kelly, and Todd, and really make a story and tell a story and have fun. Because Todd's more than client. He's family. Mm-hmm. He's 94.7 family. And I think that's what was so special about that. And to the listeners, that's what's so special about this radio station. So you bond with so many people. It's not just the radio people. It's the sponsors. It's the listeners. And to be able to tell that story and bring creativity to life. And kudos to John Fox for letting us do that. And we'll really miss you. This was just a real blast. Todd, what a pleasure.
I remember, guys, way back, okay, and this sounds, it's not that far ago, but when Jesse and I first started doing the commercials, Jesse did it. I mean, I just came in and spoke, but Jesse, we would be in the PLJ studio, and Jesse did the whole deal. I mean, he recorded it, produced it, this, that. We'd go back and forth, and it was just, and that's where I first learned how to do a lot of the stuff that I do now. When Jesse, and we had we had so much fun. We would take the copy and mess around with it and all that kind of stuff and change things, and I just can't thank you guys. You guys it's been, you're my friends. It's, I know it's a business relationship first, but more importantly, you guys are my friends, and I'm gonna miss you guys. I love you guys so much, and I just, I want the best for all of you, and I know that you guys will find something and hopefully bigger and better, and it'll just be awesome because
I'll say this about Todd, and I texted him. Thanks for keeping the lights on. I think Mary Jo could go do the books. I think Todd Van Duren, Ramsey Chrysler, Jeep Dodge Ram, is single-handedly responsible for at least 1 year of this radio station being on the air. Single-handedly, you the man.
Well, thank you guys, and like I said, it's been really great, and I'm sad, because. It's just been such all of the programs that we've done, and like I said, First Responders has been awesome, and doing the commercials with all you guys, and all the sponsorships and all the fun we've had, and I just can't thank you guys enough, and I wish you all the best, and I know we'll stay friends, and
we shall meet again.
Stay in touch. We absolutely will, and John, especially John Fox too, for all the antics to let that go on and all that kind of stuff, but it made it, and it made the commercials were real. They were believable. They were, people listened to them. They're like, it just sounded like you guys were just like, whatever, and that's what made it fun, and that's what made them so believable. And you guys, just made me feel so comfortable in the part of your crew there. And I remember, the pizzas Fridays, I would come in. We have the pizza outside, on the bar
New York
stools out
Pizza
there.
Suprema.
Suprema's the best.
Exactly, and I mean, even that. I mean, it would just be the luck of the draw when you come in and you're sitting there at pizza, and someone would walk by you like, whoa, who is that, or who is it? The people that I got to meet, and you guys, just made me feel so part of that, and I just can't thank you enough.
Well, Todd, and I got to thank you too. I would say, no kidding, not in the air, and I would use you as an example, actually, because, part of the thing was, right, we all rallied around each other. So Katie and Jesse and Kelly, they were all just part of everyone's show, right? And I would always say, I said, if Todd and this advertiser wants to use the power of all three of these talents, right? I go, we're clearly doing something right.
Yes.
And you really rallied around this team and these on-air personalities, and I just thought that was incredible. I used to say that all the time. I'm like, we're clearly doing something incredible, right? I go, he can't wait to get all the DJs all involved because they have just such great chemistry together to just share great stories, and right, you're selling products,
awesome.
And they're here to talk about the radio station, but I thought it was just really remarkable on just the level of support and investment that you made in the people that ran this property.
And I have to thank you for my Jeep named Betty.
The Betty.
Right?
The Betty.
We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary together.
Well, they even all my guys are all texting me, and girls are all texting me. More like, for the dealership, they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're just as heartbroken as I am.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we appreciate you, all your support all along, and we're going to meet again. It's all good, Todd. Todd Van Duren, Ramsey Chrysler, Jeep Dodge Ram. We love you.
All the best. Love you guys.
So
okay,
fun
take care.
hearing from so many people today. We've got the whole crew in here. It's Kelly Ford, Jesse Addy from Afternoons. Got Katie Neal in here as well. Today is the last day. New York's Country 94.7. I know now. I think finally I'm like drying up. It might be time to start thinking about shutting her down. People, is it time, John Fox? It's getting close.
Yeah, we're getting there, and I know we have another special guest that we're trying to get connected to us now. Jonah's working on it. Somebody who wants to really talk to you.
One more thing I do want to bring up. Oh wow, he might be coming on. We did talk to Amy O'Sullivan. Oh, I want to bring back up St. Jude. We had St. Jude call in earlier, and I think this is a great opportunity. Mel Bird from St. Jude. She mentioned that in the few years we did St. Jude. Is it 3 years total, guys? 3 years?
2 or 3.
It was 2 years, and we did 3 radiothons though.
Yeah. We packed it in there.
Yeah,
we got it in there. Made over $1 million. This was the last total.
We have raised $404,732.
You did it!
That was so cool.
We asked so much in such a short time of the listeners of the Tri-State, and you came through over and over again. So this morning is kind of one last gasp of just trying to make a difference, because that's what we've done and we want to continue to do as people. If you would like to make a donation to St. Jude, if you're sad that New York's Country 94.7 is going away, man, if it speaks to your heart, hit them up. 800-822-6344. And we can pop that on our socials, right? Are we allowed to do that? 800-822. We can do it on our personal socials anyway. 800-822-6344. 800-822-6344. I would like to go around the room and just let everybody, since we're all going to be looking for employment and followers, have a chance to give their socials out. I'm the Kelly Ford, as in TheKellyFord. Jonah?
Well, it seems like a lie now, but it's Jonah on the radio. Jonah on the radio.
Sabrina?
Mine is Sabrina from Queens, because I will always be Sabrina from Queens.
Mine is Hey Katie Neal, HeyKatieNeal.
Jess, your turn.
At Jesse Addy, JESSEADDY. Kelly, I want to just thank some people real quick.
Yeah.
Robbie Carugio, Pub 46, Mother's Ale House as well. John and Patty at the Cornerstone in Hillsdale. Some unbelievable nights with them. Joe and the staff at Nutty Irishman, Farmingdale. They had a DJ, a karaoke band, and a band. It was crazy what they would do. House of Q in Hoboken. So many fun times there, too. Jason always welcomed us at the door at Irving Plaza. Everybody, Webster, Gramercy, Bowery, Michelle at MSG. I mean, the list goes on. We don't have time for all these people. All the super fans. Yankee Steffi that loves Scotty McCree. Dawn Antonelli,
yes.
Luke Bryan's #1 fan. Carrie Tracy, the Wayne Tailgate Crew, and everybody at Hill Country
Take
Barbecue
your time,
Market.
dude. We got time. Let's all do some shout-outs to our friend. Yeah, I think that's a great thing to do. Nikki, I just mentioned the Columbian Fire Company. Eric said, come see us tomorrow. We can cheer you up, Kelly Ford. Love you. Jenny D, Rob Fulmer, Keisha, Mark Chernoff texted me, Cliff Blake, Sue Falco, Lindsay Church, Scott King, Tim Hill, Ty Bentley. He can't get through, but Ty Bentley from Ty, Kelly, and Chuck. Joe Nolan, who did Traffic, Nick Palmera from the Firehouse, our Firehouse right around the corner, Holly from Robin Holly, our night show. We got Fletcher, Lindsay L. Oh, I really should check. I've got 125 new text messages. So, yeah.
And just one more time to mention all our famous friends who have been with us for so long on the station and have been amazing in our Facebook group. As you can imagine, has been going on fire this morning. We will give you a full video recap message later on, but just to Susan Evans and Brian, Victoria, famous friend #1, has been in the chat today. Stephanie, Lynn, Matthew Thomas, Jessica, Susan again, Lucia. It's just so many people have been posting favorite photos that we've taken together.
Nice.
Just going down memory lane, and we'll show there is still a way to get a little bit of country. We can share that with you in our group.
Andrew Lava from NYPD just wrote
that was
in.
the one I was trying to think
Yep.
of. I also want to say, like, you guys have named so many people that you wanted to thank, but there's one person that I want to make sure that I do get to give a shout out to, and that is Sweet Anthony from Brooklyn. For as long as I have been on the radio.
Me too.
Anthony, I hope you're listening. Anthony is called every day. And he always has the sweetest things to say, and he always wants to check in on me and make sure I'm okay and I'm doing well. And
he kind of wants to marry you.
He does. He's asked me before. But he's so sweet. And Jesse and I have just spent a lot of time talking to him, and when I was thinking about people I'm going to miss, I'm just going to miss his pleasant voice every day.
He's a sweet boy.
Anthony, we love you.
We love you so much. We can get to more shout outs for sure. We take our time, honestly. We really
I
can.
just want to say thanks to a couple people too, because listen, you guys, I know this is really tough, and our time is really coming to an end here. So just thank you for sharing all the time with us, and really sharing your lives with me. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes. Dan Kelly is a guy who loves radio so much. And he is really one of the biggest backbones of this whole entire operation, from production and imaging, but really just like a great friend and a great coach to everybody. Dan, you've been just an incredible human being. Thank you for everything. I got to give a special thanks to Tim Roberts, General Roberts, our big-time country leader, and Kevin Callahan on the West Coast. We got an incredible team, too, Justin Cole and Scott Roddy and Marcy, who've just been so incredible and influential in what we do here behind the scenes. And I want to give another shout-out to a great friend of mine who's become a great friend of mine, actually, and a tremendous colleague, Clay Walker, who is here too. But Clay works so hard, not only for our radio station, for every radio station in this company. I mean, hours and hours and hours, and just countless so many responsibilities. To make us sounding good. And, we went through hell here in the pandemic, and I got to thank Scott Colombo and the engineering team and Kenny and IT and everybody here at 345, because we did not miss a beat when the world stopped, and they kept the lights on, and they kept it open, and they kept everything available and accessible to us. Oh, and Matt Wheeler, or Weller, here too, who runs the front desk, who supplied all the studios with cleaning supplies, right, and followed all these protocols.
That we're going to steal on the way out.
Right, and people had to do the impossible at the time, right? Think about it. If you go back to March, it was, the things that we had to do. And that's it. This on-air team, and Sabrina from Queens, and Mike Allen, and Kelly, and Katie, and Jesse, and Robin Holly, and Coop. I could go on forever and ever. But
you want to hit Race Taylor real quick?
I'm going to say thank you to Chris Olivero for really, for letting us do this today. So
I know Chris fought hard to let us do this. It means a lot, and we said earlier today, it feels good. I mean, they didn't have to let us do this, and it means a lot that we got to do it. And I think it speaks to we did leave it all out there. Everybody did work really hard to fight to keep this station, and so thank you for recognizing that.
And obviously thanks to Odyssey, because a little behind the scenes, when this radio station got bought, everyone I knew in the industry was surprised that A, it was still a country station, and B, we were still involved. So shout out to everybody who gave us an extra 2.5 years. David Field, Susan Larkin, who was the greatest ambassador for us just as people. And I'm so happy people got to hear John Fox and be in the Fox meeting, basically.
Be in the foxhole.
It's why everyone on the radio right now would just go through a wall for John Fox. And what he did to get us from one building to the other was just unbelievable. Thank you.
Yeah, John Fox really, I have to say, he put a dream into my life, the dream that I didn't even know could possibly exist. He really took me under his wing and made something for me, and that's something that I'll always be grateful for, because you put a light in my life that I'll never be able to dim. So
I love you, Sabrina.
This crew, I'm telling you, look around this room, and there are, as John said earlier, this is a dream.
Countless. And I'm forgetting people like Rachel McGrath and Scott Fisher and Michelle Drago, and I could go on and on and on about the people who...
Dave Plotkin,
Cicely
did you say...
Warrington.
Oh, and you know what? Hold on a second. You know what we got to do? We got to give a big shout out to our special Squad Up crew. Jessica Clark.
Oh, I was going to say, did you say
Yeah.
Jess Clark?
Jess Clark.
Jessica Clark is another superstar here at the radio station, not only for 94.7, for so many things inside the company, but Jessica Clark, too, gets that phone call of a new station and all this work, and we really just all jumped in together, and we were standing around one time, and she's just like, you guys are just so cool, and we're all like, loving on each other, and it's like, when one great squad, meets another great squad, and she goes, you squad up. and that's exactly what we did.
Listen,
and I love you so much, Jess. And
Jess
really,
is everything.
and Jar, you will forever be Jar in my life. Jeannie and Raquel and hey Fox, here's Baby Girl. So shout out to Baby Girl. I don't even know you that much, Baby Girl, but what's up? I love you too, and know you through your friends. But again, and I'm really sorry if I'm. If I'm leaving anyone out, yeah, Lauren, George, I could go on forever and ever. So.
And again, one more big
April
shout
Shibley,
out. Hey,
Marissa,
all the way back to
Millville.
the old school days.
Yeah.
But it has been a ride. Everything, I guess, comes to an end. I had an intuition way back when, and I would say this to everybody in the room. I told this to Katie yesterday. Changes, it's inevitable, and it comes, and you can embrace it or you can fight it. And if you embrace it and enjoy the ride, it's all gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. I promise this.
We are.
Just when I
Shout
think
out to
I'm
Kevin
done.
Jonas, too.
Yeah. What's up, Kevin?
Thanks, Kevin Jonas, for being a judge on Nash Next.
We can't go out on Kevin Jonas.
But I'm just saying, is that it? Like we're looking around the room.
Yes, we can.
And I think this is going to be it. And I think we're going to fire this song off here in a second. What do you think, Kelly? Are you ready?
I need to say something to you guys before we go, because I will regret this. First of all, to John, you gave me a job and you believed in me in a time when I know you put your own career on the line so that I could have a chance to do this, and I will never forget that, and I am so grateful for you.
Well, I'm so grateful for you.
And Kelly, you put the dream in my heart. You said to me when you were leaving, you said, you should do my job. You should do my job. And I didn't get to do it for a while later, but I thought that was the craziest thing that you even thought at that point that I was capable of doing it. Jesse, I can't even look at you on Zoom because I could not have made it through the last 4 years without you. I mean, getting to work with this team of people has just been, like everyone always says, the team in New York is just different, and you guys, it has been different, and I love you so much. So much. You mean the world to me.
You're the best, Katie. You're the best.
Jess?
I just want to say, you hear that love amongst us, and if you ever listen to this radio station, you're like, do they feel that way about each other that they act like on the radio, or when they're hanging out with artists, or when they come to, the shows and they're hanging out at our tailgates? Yes, we meant every word of it, on the air and off. I don't mean to get too emotional because this has been, the highlight of my career. But I love all these people, and we'll tell these. I mean, we had a few hours here. We will tell the stories of you as a listener and the artists and what we did for the rest of our lives.
You created
Thank you,
this.
New York.
You made our dreams come true. And when I walked out the door this morning, I'm like, today is going to be perfect. It is the rare moment when there's no wrong answers. Today was perfect. So I guess since I was the first live voice heard on New York's Country 94.7, I will be the last live voice heard on New York's Country 94.7, and we will sign off with the very first song. I mean, not officially sign off, but how about we sign off all these live, beautiful people with the very first song that we signed on with on January 21st, 2013. Remember this, guys? This is how country feels. New York's country